let's see what is next here. We have got Space Tomato. He's talking about VR. He's talking about things that people told me I was full of crap on, that they said DG's full of crap and VR is never going to hit. Here we have another iteration of it. Silvan's been doing a lot of work. Mad Style in our Discord's telling me that Silvan's put a lot of effort into this. So we're going to listen to Space Tomato talk about it. Then we're going to watch another citizen play with VR, and he filmed it for us. So we're going to check that out. Let's do this right now. By the way, if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe, like, and share. If you're on Twitch here, definitely follow and you're new, or subscribe, help out the channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Let's check this out.
Space nerds. Sorry, I don't have any VR headset to monument this occasion. But VR is coming to Star Citizen, folks. Official support. We've been trying to do it since 2014, my friends, but this guy here, not this guy. This guy here, Mr. Silvan, member at CIG, he's been working on this in his spare time for years, well, a little while. And we're going to talk today about kind of where this came from, because I think virtual reality is a little unexpected from a lot of folks, why it's happening, per Chris Roberts 10 years ago, what people are saying about it. I'm going to give you some actual looks at how it's performing, and also a lot of the discussion that devs have been making over the years as they've been building this out. So let's start from the very beginning, which is... this is not, like, a lot of folks are coming into these comments and things and saying, hey, this is why are they working on virtual reality when they don't even have an inventory? Why are they?
I hate people like that. It's like, man, just let the game do what it needs to do to make it a better game. Why? Because we want VR. Right. I mean, like, I can't, I don't understand this. Like, do you perhaps think that the people that are like, why are we doing this when we don't even have an inventory work? Do you think that they're like just against fun and they don't want the game to succeed? A lot of times when I hear that voice, I'm like, what is the purpose of that? Of course we want VR. Why wouldn't you want VR on a game like this? At any point in time, why would you not want VR? In fact, I'll say something a little crazy here. I kind of want VR before the inventory, because I want to like look at shit in VR and be like, wow, I want to be super impressed by VR. I mean, inventory be damned. This come from like an economic trading kind of player here, man. If you can hit me up with the VR right now, maybe I want the VR before the inventory, man. Like, you want more of a visually stunning game with like amazing graphics up in your face while you're moving your head around. Do you think that's going to make more of an impact than the inventory and bring more revenue into the game? Maybe. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Getting extra things that only 1% of the player base uses.
Right,
when,
DY. Right.
Nobody else is.
And also, like DY saying here in the chat, because there are different departments doing different tasks, the real life business model, there are real people in different departments who have jobs that do these things. It's not just like one department of 1,000 people going one direction. Like, people, like, grow up, people. DY is absolutely right when he comments like that. Deadly says VR will help us find where Tony Z is hiding and speed up the economy. Okay, that is hilarious, Deadly. Holy God, dude. Dynus is saying, I can't wait to try my Quest 3 on Star Citizen. Right, dude.
Gonna really benefit from this. And I can tell you, with the shadow of a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt,
Deadly, we love you, bro.
Without any doubt, the reason this has come around is because one employee, as I mentioned, Silvan, has been working on this Saturdays and Sundays almost every week since September of last year. Wow. He's been doing this in his spare time.
Wow.
This has not been CIG. This is not backer dollars that have gone into this. I mean, probably a little.
Give the man a raise. This is what I like to see from employees, man. If I'm Chris, I'm giving that guy a raise. Just right off the bat. I'm just going to say that right now. Give Silvan a raise. Any employee that's going above and beyond their Call of Duty, this guy is putting in Saturdays as a dev. Let me tell you something. Devs are overworked as is. This guy's taking a Saturday out of his own time to do this. That's the love. That's the passion for the game. That is why I love this project, and I follow it. Thank you. Thank you, Dynus. Dynus, I love you, bro. Thank you for the support. That really helps out, especially getting towards Christmas. You better believe it. Thank you, buddy. I need that help. I put my tree up, by the way. If you look, I put Mom's tree up. If you look on my YouTube channel in the community section, I posted a picture of this tree. I got a funny story for tomorrow on that.
A little bit, it has to be implemented. But in terms of the chunk, the meat of the development of this, it seems this has mostly been a background project by somebody who I can attest to is very passionate about virtual reality and just about allowing people to experience this game in a separate way. This is part of why I think a lot of people are into Star Citizen. It's not just folks trying to make a buck or make a game that they think people will play. There are a lot of passionate devs working at CIG who want to see certain parts of this game flourish. And you should keep that in mind. When you talk about CIG, it's not necessarily a monolith. But anyways, enough of my soapbox. Let's get into this. So let's go back to the time. Well, actually, I'll show you the implementation first so you can just get an idea of what we're even getting into. Here's a video uploaded by Adet Sarks. I'm going to go ahead and post this link in the description so you could see the whole thing. I'm just going to give you a little look at what he experiences in this. You can hear some of his commentary about how well it works.
We finally got the official native VR for the Star Citizen. The first test will happen in the coming days. And I recorded a small sneak peek for you. Right now it looks absolutely stunning. It's completely changed. The field of view is much wider now, and the whole thing looks unbelievable. It's like the game of our dreams.
Wow.
And I was also surprised.
So I believe it looks this way because when you're looking through a VR headset, you're not seeing a full screen like we're used to. But even as somebody who does eye tracking, which I think VR has been made easier because they already did eye tracking. It's taught them how to separate views and interactions and stuff. I think I can already tell that the field of view is much wider and that you can tell the view is different from just looking on a flat screen. You don't need me to tell you that though. It looks cool.
Yes,
it reminds me, the movement reminds me of what I see from VR games for sure, like No Man's Sky.
Steadily at around 50-80 FPS on maximum graphics.
The hardest part, I think, is going to be doing the keybinds.
Yeah.
On whatever controller you're playing with while your head's blocked.
Yeah. But absolutely awesome.
I'm going to jump forward a little bit here. So it's very much like, it looks a lot like the eye tracking, but man, it must be so much more immersive having the rest of your view cut off from the outside world. See how it acts in third person. So it works kind of like the eye tracker when you're in third person too. Whew. Not as easy to watch if you're not the person controlling the headset. But to be honest, this looks smoother than I would have thought a first iteration is now.
And also, I will say probably there's latency issues between the headset and his PC or the specs of his PC. I'd imagine there's some type of latency going on there.
Now, I have received word that by the time this video goes out, they may have the official announcement out, but they are preparing an official announcement. They're going to have support for key bindings. They'll be able to tell you everything that you need to know if you do want to take part in this. But I'm still.
And again, like Silvan's been doing this for over a year, working every Saturday on a day off, doing this on his own. And when people were saying that it couldn't be done. So now we have the first iteration or the second iteration actually of this, because the first iteration was just like flat screen up against your face. Planet Wally was doing a lot of that. We had a lot of that coverage here on the channel like 2.5, 3 years ago, wasn't it? So, you know, we go from like Planet Wally's first iteration of VR. Chachi does a lot of VR stuff with that same technology. This is an evolution of that tech. And so like this is version 2 of the VR that Silvan's working on. It looks a little bit choppy, but it's doable. It's being done. I like the fact that, you know, we're going in this direction. I think VR is a no-brainer for Star Citizen. I think you'll get a ton of people in just for the VR experience. They need to work on this. They need to endorse Silvan's work. Chris needs to give Silvan a raise and have him focus just on this at work, when he's at work, not on Saturdays. Silvan to come in and actually do the work that's needed to get done. And he's his own team. Who agrees with that?
Yes, sir. You're not gonna hate me.
Wouldn't you do that? Like, if you're Chris Roberts, wouldn't you be like, okay, wait a second, Silvan, I like what you did. You did this. You're passionate about it. You did it on your own time. I want you to come in. We're going to give you 2 or 3 people, and I want you to focus on this with your team and make VR Citizen an actual thing. Thank you, Supermod Daft. I think that would be the smartest managerial decision that Chris could ever make.
This is my first look at it, really. I'm right there with you guys. So we'll see how this develops over the next couple weeks and months, and I'll keep you covered.
Limitless is right. VR was working in a very limited format in 3.0. Pre-3.0 Limitless, you're right, because that's about the time Planet Wally DM'd me, and he said, hey, DG, check out this VR that I've done. What do you think about it? And I was like, okay, let me check it out. And I checked it out. It looked fantastic. We did learn it didn't have the field of depth to it. Do you remember that, Limitless? You were here. I mean, like, you've been old school. I think you remember Planet Wally. He still comes by on the channel every once in a while. Cool dude. And I was like, man, this is fantastic. And he said, yeah, there's not a lot of field of depth on it, but you do feel like you're immersed. He's like, essentially, you're putting like TVs on your face, but it does give you the idea of like what it could be. And I was like, man, that's still awesome. You know, I was like, that's still cool. And now to see it like this, you know, now you have your field of depth. You can see the difference, right? Yeah. It's great.
Floating screens for menus and the view. I am not a VR player. To be quite honest, I was waiting until this game got support for me to start jumping into VR.
Right, Devil.
So I get to finally start learning what it means, and probably also start a a bank account to add savings for this kind of thing. Because
I mean, the other issue is like when there are so many people saying that this cannot happen. They're like, no, that's never going to happen. Like VR for Star says it's never going to happen. And then you have a dev working on it on his own time and he makes it happen. And then what happens to those people that are absolutely wrong? Is anybody ever calling those people out? I am. I'm calling those people out. I don't hear anybody out there who's a content creator calling those people out. So what now? What are we going to say now about this? Now that it's doable like this and you have field of depth, we're going to say, oh, you don't have the field of width, right? You don't have a lot of the width. Or you're going to say it's herky jerky right now, right? So we did it. And so we're going to improve upon it. It's pretty simple to me, if you ask me, those are the next steps.
These things get expensive.
There's nobody out there. There's nobody out there that calls those people out. Nobody. Oh, don't show me that
the
clipper.
bits of jankiness, honestly, I don't know if it's the game or if it's the recording.
Right,
but
move on to the
this
next
sort of
thing
like stuttery
no
bit
to,
that he's seeing doesn't look like the game so much to me. It could be. Ultimately, though, you can see that it's working. And I think that's the most important thing is like, this has been something people have been wanting for a long time.
Right.
In fact, here's a picture somebody asked about this to Chris Roberts almost 10 years ago to the day.
Okay, next question comes from Admiral Shemen. I think that's how it's pronounced. I wondered.
For the record, if you don't know what this is letter from the chairman. This is the CEO of the company making Star Citizen. He would.
Yeah, like that's great. I'm going to rewind that clip by Chris, but I just saw my friend Nate who just got his instructor's license. Let's hear it for Nate, everybody. Nate, I'm so proud of you, bro. Put some ones up in this chat for Nate, man. He's been down in Arizona doing tons of flight training and becoming an instructor, and he just got his license. I'm super proud of you, man. I'm going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow. I'm happy to see you. Send my love to Kim, too, man. Is Kim going to be able to get you back at the house to ravage you, bro?
Kind of just go on camera and
man. It's good to see
listen to questions from backers and tell them honestly a lot of what they wanted to hear. And this
all right, let me rewind the Chris clip here. Let's see here.
Next question
I miss these. Man, 10 for the chairman was the shit. I miss these.
From Admiral Shemen. I think that's how it's pronounced. I wondered.
For the record, if you don't know what this is letter from the chairman. This is the CEO of the company making Star Citizen. He would kind of just go on camera and listen to questions from backers and tell them, honestly, a lot of what they wanted to hear. And this is where a lot of the feature creep in Star Citizen came from. A lot of the ideas of like, oh, these things are promised, these things are happening, these things will happen. And then maybe they don't turn up or they get, toned down. But
and I will push back against this whole feature creep thing, man. This is just simply what people want in the game. This is simply why I call it the everything game. Do you realize why they're at the $1 billion mark from just fan funds? It is because of this stage. It was the stage where people were like, hey, can I have this? Hey, can I have this? Voted yes, voted yes, voted yes, voted yes. More funding, more funding, more funding. Yeah, sure. Why not? Chris kept saying yes. Chris kept saying, yeah, sure, we'll put a vote on it. We'll let the people vote on it. Guess what the people voted on? Yes, the people voted on this. The citizens voted on this. This wasn't imposed by Chris or Cloud Imperium. Chris actually put the vote to everybody that wanted to fund the game. And Chris said, hey, what do you think about VR? Did you want VR? Yes, of course we want that. We wanted everything at every scope of since the beginning of time on this game. That's why I call it the everything game. Because everybody wanted everything from this game. And Chris put it up to a vote. And this is not feature creep. This is what people want. It's simply put, full stop.
Here's yet another question about something amazing that people wanted to happen. Nobody really knew how long it would take, but now here we are 10 years later, knowing it was about 10 years.
Virtual reality is coming forth now that CryEngine has native support for Oculus Rift. Any progress or plans on this topic? So we're, there is some enhanced CryEngine support, and actually,
oh my goodness,
one of the key people that was working on that project is now actually part of our
Lumberyard
team,
and
in Frankfurt.
a whole bunch of different things.
And we're just sort of
I'm going to get to the interesting part of this answer for you.
Updates they've got for virtual reality in CryEngine and put it in. We still want to do some specific custom stuff on our side, and that's really a matter of sort of engineering time. We're also waiting for some stuff to sort of settle. I mean, there's some pretty cool new stuff like the Valve headset as well. I'm
sorry, wait, is this from 10 years ago or this year? The timing is crazy on that.
Yeah.
The Valve headset's coming out in like 3 months.
It's sort of on our longer term roadmap, but right now.
And this is what people don't understand. It takes this long to get shit done sometimes in tech. In the tech field, all these timelines are thrown out. I mean, even look at what happens right now with AI and these timelines that some of these big companies are going for, right? And they're saying, oh, okay, we're going to be able to build out these data centers like, boom, snap of a finger. No, they're not. Do you know the power consumption that you're going to need? You got to build a grid in order for the amount of, some of the whispers in my ear, little birdies are telling me some of these data centers, some of the contracts are null and void now because they don't have the power grid that they're going to need by 2030. So, in the tech field, there's a lot of investment and a rush of money, just in the same way that the rush of money came in with us, still coming in with all the fans, right? Doesn't mean that it's happening tomorrow. And people will give you these timelines, especially Chris. This man is guilty of it. He's telling us dates and stuff. That's why you never hear dates from Chris anymore. That's why, in fact, you never even see 10 for the chairman anymore, because he learned. He took a step back. He realized, I'm going to stop giving dates on this shit, right? Because in the tech world, man, people are putting out dates and they're optimistic and they put them out. But like a lot of times they're not till farther out. Doesn't mean they're not going to happen. It just means it's much farther out than some of the optimistic goals that people set for that tech.
We're really focused
very long term
on getting all the large world and the zone system working. The Arena Commander 2.0 is really wishes a multi-crew, and then sort of after that's where we sort of get back onto
dude, this is wild.
Some other stuff.
This is before we even knew we were going to be landing on planets. Crazy trip in the past.
Yeah.
So that's
it's not just SIG though. That's what I'm saying, Damons. It's like the entire tech sector. It's companies as large as Microsoft and Tesla. I mean, oh my God, look at the timelines, some of the timelines that Elon put out there for the Tesla car, for the EVs, man. Right? I mean, like they were ridiculously farther out than what he expected on that. Or like Optimus robots, man, right? Those timelines keep going out. But like, this is not just a phenomenon with SIG. This is small potatoes, comparatively speaking, with the entire tech sector. This is a normal thing with the tech sector, game development included. is like they'll put out these optimistic timelines, and they just because they don't get done right away, everybody goes, oh, fuck it. It's never going to come out. It's a scam, blah, 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 blah. They don't understand behind that. Even though they're giving out these faulty, optimistic timelines, there's still people working on it, pushing to get there. So yeah, 10 years, that sounds like crazy amount of time, right? And you could take you could have the take of like, oh, that's ridiculous. And you know what? It is 10 years. That's a long time. If you're going to say it happens anytime sooner and it comes out like 10 years from the fact, yeah, they were wrong, but doesn't negate the fact that it's actually here now, that the work was actually done on it and it's now here. So, you know, you could look at it like the glass is half empty or the glass is half full. I would prefer to look at it with the glass half full, just because I'm a glass half full type of dude.
Just talking about VR back then. Clearly, it's not something that they just wanted to get in. And then here's Silvan, as I said, dude, responding to somebody from 4 years ago, basically saying that, unfortunately, we don't have the resources for VR. We got all hands on deck on PES, which turned into server meshing after PES was figured out. Once we have Vulkan, I will add a bare bones VR implementation as soon as possible. And can we, if as soon as possible.
Yeah, this is my sound effects. I'm sorry, Space Tomato. My sound effects are a little bit better than yours. It's okay. I'm Space Potato, by the way.
Could be brought to the extreme, dude. VR, the freaking Vulkan API multi-threading isn't even in live yet, and they're out here pushing the VR workup, and they've got an official announcement coming out for it. So this is moving forward. If you have a VR headset, you're going to be able to play Star Citizen in VR after 4.5. And it might not be the best, but when is Star Citizen ever? Okay, this is a little bit out of left field because I did lose this, but I found it a little bit later. This is actually Silvan specifically saying that Vulkan and Gen 12 were going to help to enable VR. So let's say as of at least October 27th, 2022, he was pretty much on the record saying they were going to get this done. And I'm happy to see it by this point.
The end goal of Gen 12, however, is to make use of a new graphics API called Vulkan, which will boost performance even more and also allows us to add new cool features like AI scaling,
I always felt like he was nice,
ray tracing,
like some snide
efficient multi-view rendering for VR, and Linux support, and more.
All those things are starting to come around, but thank you, Gen 12. Thank you, Vulkan. Thanks, Silvan and the team. Here are some more shots you can see. Just in general, you can tell that it's like a VR orientation. Like I can tell this doesn't come straight from a flat screen. In fact, it looks like this is the HUD. So like your field of view is absolutely massive compared to your HUD. Look, this is where your like all your tips are. Your map is up here. So you have just like an absolutely gigantic field of view, I guess. Makes sense. He said, in VR, you have depth, perspective, and sense of scale. It's awesome. All the buttons, sliders, switches, screens, text are greatly detailed, high resolution, fully realistic on my index. In FPS mode, the weapon is fully detailed, easy to handle, and I don't get nausea, which is a surprise. Mobi-Glass is really good. The map can fully be used. Mission text is readable, easy to interact with. Flying in third-person mode is beautiful. You can look around in every direction while flying behind your ship. In this ship, it's also great. Cockpit's fully detailed. Unfortunately, the navigation markers are closer to you than your crosshair, which is a bit disturbing, but still usable. The big showstopper, though, is the inventory, which is not working. I can't see anything when pressing I. VPN. You know, I bet you the old inventory doesn't even work with this. I think that they still... I think that maybe we'll see inventory in a tech preview soon. But I don't know. Who knows? FPS is not that high, but not disturbing. Sometimes stuttering and crash the desktop is frequent. I'm not using Vulkan. In total, it's a great surprise for Christmas, he says. It forecasts how this will look like when ready, and it will be awesome. I can hardly wait. I can hardly wait either. This was what I thought was going to be the pinnacle of experiencing Star Citizen. And I thought it would probably be more of a 1.0 thing. I'm glad this is here already. I don't have a VR headset. I don't plan on having one anytime soon. But I love that this is here for those who do, and I think it's going to help in the future when the rest of us can finally pick one up.
It's an added feature, and it'll bring a lot of people in that they love playing in VR, which I know there's tons of commanders from Elite Dangerous that are going to come over from this as well. It's just going to bring more people to the table. It's going to bring more revenue in. It's just a no-brainer. And I'm glad that Silvan did this. He should get a raise. And frankly, Chris should just have him focus on this and give him a team just to focus on this if he hasn't already.
Thank you, Radical Hun, for your input. Sonaris also has some input here on Reddit. Said he spent some time flying around in the PTU in VR. He's a longtime VR enthusiast with around 4,000 hours in DCS, MF, Microsoft
DCS
Flight Simulator, and iRacing. His PC hardware is high-end, 7800 X3D, 5090, 64 gigs of RAM, and he's got the Valve Index, which is definitely dated now. Star Citizen is running on the PTU with Vulkan, all settings maxed. Okay, so...
Listen, if this man has 4,000 hours in DCS, then I'm going to listen to what he says, man. This is a hardcore DCS pilot. I'm going to listen to what he's saying about Star Citizen VR right now.
He says it confirms, or he confirms it shines. He said it's hard to explain how dramatically different the sense of depth is compared to a flat display. I've heard this said with Elite Dangerous. I've heard that Elite Dangerous from regular computer to VR is one of the craziest sense of scale increases you'll ever get. I hope we could get that. I hope that hits with Star Citizen. If everything involving...
didn't they drop support for that as well? Wasn't there a whole bunch of commanders that got totally ticked off that they dropped the support? I don't know if there's VR support still for Elite Dangerous at this point in time. But I think at one point in time they did drop it. I don't know if it's back or not. But I remember how many people love playing Elite Dangerous in VR. I was almost going to do it because I just heard so many good reviews. And then as soon as I wanted to do it, I was told that it was dropped.
The ship just feels right, he said, looking around the cockpit, examining the controls, watching the ship exterior as you maneuver, and observing objects flying past you. The amount of detail CIG has put into ships and cockpits is really elevated to a new level in VR. Also something I heard about in ED, that you could just see more detail. And it's nice. It's like the game is almost built to fit in a VR-like environment, being so high fidelity and just like fun to look at with the interactions and the physicality of everything. I don't want to say they built it all with the plan of VR, but I definitely think that it was a consideration. Now, the meh he mentions here is that FPS mode is not great. On-foot VR has never been something he personally cared about, so it is not a major drawback. He just prefers switching back to the monitor once he leaves the cockpit. Okay. He tested FPS mode with mouse and keyboard. It is usable and perfectly fine for basic navigation, assuming you're...
See, this is what I'm talking about. DJ says docking in VR and Elite is one of those moments I'll remember forever. That's how good it was. I had a friend named Chaos Wolf. I don't remember if you guys know who Chaos Wolf was. Him and I played a lot of Elite Dangerous back in the day, and Chaos Wolf had a VR setup, and he was always trying to get me to play. And he was one hell of a commander. He was so fun, so serious. I loved it. He PvP'd, and we flew together sometimes. Really cool cat. And he always was one of the nicest guys in the world. And try to do some other types of content when Elite Dangerous started falling, the same way Obsidian Ant did, and his channel just didn't survive it. And it was a sad thing because he's a cool dude, man. I wish he'd get back on the YouTube and make more videos again. So if you're watching, dude, I hope you're still out there, man. Cool friend of mine on the net.
Not someone who gets motion sickness from smooth locomotion, but as far as actual FPS combat goes, aiming is far harder than on a normal monitor. Interesting. The good news is switching between VR and monitor can be done without exiting the game. Okay. And then he named some of the problems. Targeting HUD elements sit far too close to the eyes. Some text is extremely hard to read. Mobi-glass appears at the same uncomfortable distance and causes eye strain. Yeah. That dang Mobi-glass. There is no automatic toggle between monitor mode and VR when entering or exiting ships, so manual console commands are required every time. Oh yeah, definitely need a quick control for that. There's actually one more comment that he left back 5 years ago. Silvan said, Junior engineer programmer here. One of the main reasons I joined the company is to bring VR to Star Citizen, and there are also other people here in the company as dedicated about it as me. Implementing VR into the rendering itself isn't a big deal, but as others have pointed out, it's having support from the game itself in terms of gameplay. I'm mostly concerned about tying it into animation systems and what locomotion we can offer. Nobody wants to have teleporting players in the verse, right? This is key. I think this is a lot bigger deal than people would give credit for. Having a VR enthusiast tied into VR, working on it in the game, and being able to understand what problems might pop up, it's all about having that knowledge. And I think we should be pretty grateful that people like Silvan and others in the company not only have that knowledge, want to apply it to Star Citizen, but are willing to take their spare time he did say here that like he's going to take his spare time to do it. They're willing to take their spare time to make this happen for the love of the game. He said there are lots of unknown questions which need to be solved and requires a collaboration from various teams here. I imagine we will implement VR in stages. For a first step, just being able to view your ship in the hangar or use it in a cockpit. But a full VR implementation, similar to Half-Life Alyx, is a whole different story. I think they skipped over that a little bit. I can't and won't make any promises, but my personal goal is to have something similar to Alyx, but with a visible full body and IK, inverse kinematics. I was never a fan of just seeing your hands in VR. Apart from that, if we get a nerve gear in 2 years, I will be the first one to implement that straight away. Something like SAO is my full dream. Oh my god. Anyway, I just wanted to say that there are people here at CIG who are huge VR enthusiasts. We will do anything within our capabilities to bring it to Star Citizen. It'll be a huge task. It'll take a while, but have no doubt we will get there. Honestly, shout out to all of the VR enthusiasts out there. Chachi Sanchez is a YouTube VR enthusiast. You should check him out if you're looking for somebody who will probably have more content on this, but just everybody who's been passionate about this. So overall, to be quite honest, the first implementation to me sounds better than I would have expected.
Nate says, I think you're right, DG. Give this guy a few folks and let them develop it. Absolutely. You can tell the guy's super passionate about it. He's going to work in the engine he's going to make sure that while working in, with Vulkan as it evolves, he's going to make sure that they're up to date on it. You can already see right now that there's room for improvement. And if you gave him the time and the money and the people, the resources, I think he could every patch update the VR along with the patch. And it just makes total sense to me. And if Chris hasn't done this already, then all I got to do is just shame Chris if he hasn't done it. This is only if you've not done this yet, Chris. This is going straight out to you, bro. Shaming you publicly that you have not thought of this. Shame. You probably didn't think of it because, I give you all the best ideas.
I'm in a fountain.
I do. He won't ever admit it. I know he still watches. Chris, I know you're still watching. You're faithful. You're loyal. God damn it, you're an OG, Chris.
And I think for a lot of Star Citizen fans, probably kind of similar expectations. We've seen how engineering has come into the game. We've seen how things like freight elevators, the cargo refactor, even PES and server meshing have come into the game. Big pieces of tech are destabilizing too. Luckily, as people have pointed out in comments, this is not something that will touch everyone. So there's a good chance this doesn't actually destabilize the game, but it could take a little while to get perfect. So if you do have a VR headset, jump in, give it a try with the new update. But, expect Star Citizen. Either way, this is going.
Dave says VR seems like a dead end. We're gonna be able to get a Neuralink that can be put right into your goddamn brain very soon, says Dames. Are you gonna put a date on that, Dames? Are you gonna Chris Roberts and give us a date on that, Dames? Is that gonna happen next year? Don't say next year, Dames. Don't say next year. I think that might be 10 years out, bro. I'm just gonna guess 10, probably 20. But you might be right. Until then, I say they should do it. All right. Now we're going to watch something from, Tyreel Wood, that is going to show us exactly what Silvan has been working on. I don't know if I mentioned this at the very beginning of this in Star Citizen After Dark, but I wanted to actually see somebody playing what Silvan has released with a headset. I'm not quite sure the headset he is using. Let's see if we got any information in here. Tyreel says, out of nowhere and unexpectedly, Star Citizen got something we were waiting for, and that was missing from the very beginning. Official VR support, how to play Star Citizen in VR. So let's discover together in this video. Let's see how to use it, and let's try it out together. Okay, let's get into Star Citizen VR. He doesn't really have what he's using, does he? Here. Ugh. Man, I mean, put down what we're using, unless he says it in the video here. Let's check it out.
Alright, so this one wasn't on my bingo card for 2025 or 2020 ever, to be honest, because Star Citizen, that game would actually raise over $900 million and is in development since forever. Out of nowhere, apparently added full native VR support. Not even out yet. Hey, Tyre here, so welcome to the VR Tech channel. Not many people know that I'm actually quite a lot into space simulators. I play Elite Dangerous a lot. And I always wanted to try Star Citizen, but not having a VR support or just 3D support was really throwing me off.
Pedro,
but this is about to change. So in this video, I want to check it out with you. I'm going to probably use the Samsung Galaxy XR. Of course, this is a beta on a game that is not even officially out yet. So a beta of the beta on the PTU, the public test universe, I guess. So if you're an expert of Star Citizen and you don't want to just look at person just trying to grab a can.
Okay, let's check out what he's going to be using here real quick. Let's get into the specs of this Galaxy XR. Okay, it looks kind of brand new actually. Let's see, where's the specs here? Do we have the specs? I'll look at this while we play this.
From the floor for 2 minutes. This is how we get in VR right away. First thing to do is actually to download the PTU, the 4.5.0. Clicking on it, you can actually download it, and then you're gonna have to activate your account on the Rubber Space Industry website. You click on your account over there, you go to the dashboard, then on settings, and then you click on Public Test Universe and you can copy your account over there. With that done, now we have to go on our game files and create a new text document that we're gonna call user.cfg. And then we get in our...
Okay, here we go. Just let's go here. Samsung Galaxy VR, high-end mixed reality headset. Dual micro OLED displays, 3552 by 3840. Okay, that's pretty good size. Gen 2 chip, 16 gigabyte of RAM. That doesn't seem like that much. Only 16 gig of RAM? Is that like a normal thing for headsets? I feel like that's a lot. I don't know. I'm not too much on headsets, so I'm not quite sure if that's a good spec or a bad spec.
Our file, open it with a notepad, and inside we have to write sys.openxr space equal space 42. We save, and we're pretty much done. It's time to start our VR headset and get instant VR. But yeah, now that we are in the game, we have to click this button over here on the keyboard. I really don't know the name. To open the console, and we have to put down R_stereo mode space 1 and press enter. And here we are in full VR on Star Citizen. That is absolutely nuts. I really don't know what I'm doing over here, so watch it at your own risk in case. I'm getting in an open universe. I think I was in anger last time that I tried to go through the tutorial, but maybe we're gonna go through some other stuff. I don't even have my OTAS connected. We're gonna try it with mouse and keyboard. By the way, if you're wondering, motion controllers are not supported. It's just like mouse and keyboard or OTAS, and it's completely fine, to be honest. It's a start, it's great, and most of all, I think this is simulator, so you really want to fly more than anything else, but maybe it's just me. Oh. And here we are in Star Citizen. Yeah, I guess I'm in this hangar. Tirewood VR hangar. A large hangar as well. Wow. So this is my character. It will snap around when you move your neck. And yeah, the HUDs.
It looks kind of good. It's a little jumpy, a little herky-jerky a bit. But this is what Silvan did the work on, man. It's nuts, man. People playing with it. That's awesome.
Right in front of you. Very close, to be honest. I think you're going to need some very good lenses to actually see everything. There's Sergeant Raphael over there that actually helped me a bit earlier. Because with the 5, you can actually recenter on the numpad. You can actually recenter your view. And then you can just move around and, explore the verse. That's how you guys call it, right? Over here. So let's get over here. Let's call a ship. Why do I have all these ships? I thought I had the cheapest one and that's it. Well, I guess it's a PTO thing. Claim. Oh no, what's a claim? Do I have to pay? Oh my god, that's my neck. Nomad, request delivery. Let's get this Nomad.
Oh boy, he must be new because he's like, what's a claim?
Here we go.
Here is an example of somebody who hasn't played the game, who came over as an Elite Dangerous commander that liked VR, and he's coming over to check it out because of the VR. That's what I'm talking about, man. There is a market.
My God, this is huge. And that's the thing, like in VR, like you kind of have this sense of scale that is actually missing when you play like a flat. Frame rate is not the best, to be honest, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. The image is not super sharp. I'm also running a pretty high settings. I really recommend using virtual desktop because it has the ability to actually double the frame rate right on the headset instead of doing it like with a PC. With motion smoothing on Steam VR, that's actually not very good. I guess that's my
Yeah, I'll tell you, this chat, like the way that the compression happens on the chat and the map is a little disconcerting. There has to be something, like you can see the field of view is much larger. So this would actually be like maybe a coding thing or perhaps an option that exists that Silvan already has in it that maybe he's not aware of. Because personally, like the chat should be boom, like over here. The map should be over here. It should be completely reconfigured. If he has this field of view right now, he should be able to find a setting or something that actually snaps the chat, the messages, the map, and pushes them out towards the extremities. I would imagine that should be something. If Silvan is watching, then I would definitely tell the dude to make a setting so that you can snap chat and map to the sides and have them fixed. Like, you know, the chat, the map, and the messages should not be moving around with the screen. They should be snapped and fixed to the extremities of the field of view on the outsides.
Ship coming. This is amazing.
I bet
this is like
I'm guessing there's controls to this. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit and see if that gets any better here. Let's see. Nope.
Why are you standing in the thing? Everything is normal. Everything is normal. Not waiting.
Very disconcerting.
Carry. I'm carrying it right now.
All right, I want to see him in a ship flying. I don't necessarily want to see him shopping here. Let's...
in space? What? Okay.
Yeah, he's brand new.
Here we go.
This guy's brand new.
This looks amazing, by the way. Whoa! Something not to do in VR. Trippy.
Yeah, I hear you, caveman. How you doing, bro?
Okay.
Welcome back home,
this is amazing. I wish I have my hotess now. Engine. Engine on. Something is happening. All right. Let's go. Oh, look at this. Let's go.
He's blacking out.
I can't see anything. What's going on? What happened? Whoa. Why did I pass out? I passed out for some reason. Okay. Whoa. Bloody FPS. Come on, guys.
Oh, he's getting hit now.
That's
probably that 16 gigabytes.
It's so bad, the performance.
These headsets.
And it crashed.
It's got to be the headset. The memory on the headset's only 16 gigabyte. Is that it? I'm not quite sure if that's it. But oh my God, man. As far as he could get. The second he went outside, it was like, oh, this might not be the right guy to be doing
I gotta
this.
say, like, performance is a bit choppy, probably not the best.
I'm going to tell you this guy doesn't have the setup for it. I can tell you right now this guy doesn't have a setup for it.
I think I also was pretty high settings. The sense of depth is amazing. And, like, we are... Oh, dude. I have no idea what I'm doing. Come on. I need to hold us. Woo. Alright, this is pretty cool. I have no idea how to use it with that. Come on. Alright.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a friendly time. Alright, so this is Arena Commander actually, so maybe I can try some other ship and being like already somewhere instead of like struggling for 45 minutes.
Being
here is absolutely amazing. I think someone is already shooting me.
Wow, look at that. You can turn all the way around 360 degrees. That is so cool, man. One of these days, man. One of these days I'm going to do this. When Silvan perfects this, you better believe I'm going to do this.
And yeah, I mean, you can see I'm inside.
This is the dream right here. I imagine how much more immersive it is when you're like 360 degrees, being able to look all the way around you, man. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
The ship, I can look around, I can look at every single button over there. I have to say that the scale of some things is a bit off, like the keyboards are weirdly small. If you ever played Elite Dangerous, I'm sure like you will understand like the ability of actually looking around to find your target. It's something else. It's not even comparable to like a flat screen. The only thing is like over here, if you need the keyboard to actually use things is a bit more complicated because like, you know, you don't always know where all the keys are and I have no idea what I'm doing here. So I have to say things look very, very, very good. The sense of scale, it's there. And like, you know, having a friend over there, like being able to play together, it will be absolutely amazing. I just wish I knew what I was doing. Let me try actual shooting. Okay, and this should be the FPS mode where we have the gun right in front and yeah, mouse and keyboard to actually control it. Doesn't feel very bad. It's very similar to what you're doing at UEVR. How am I aiming? Oh, just like that? Closing an eye? Amazing. Yeah, the crosshair is up there, but I'm clearly like not shooting over there, as you can see. I don't know why it's over there. To aim is a bit complicated, let's say. Pistol. Nice. Yeah, probably not the best way to play this part. But yeah, the HUD is right in front of you. It's like kind of like
we had the
Christmas
helmet songs on and everything
on your head. Clearly, it's not a standing experience right now.
Dev slept through everything.
I can't believe this thing is actually running in VR
but
pretty smoothly as well. But no one is coming over here, so I guess I'm alone, like shooting at boxes or something. But yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll say this. There has to be a setting here that Silvan's already put in here that's a preset where you can snap the UI. This UI has to be snapped. Chat, you know, your score here when you're playing. Like, all this shit has to be snapped to the extremities without movement when you're moving your head, because it is just way too disconcerting. I'm almost like 100% sure that's probably a feature that this guy has no clue about. I love how this guy's like looking at his hand. Like, look how this guy's looking at his hand with the gun right in front of him. That is like, whoo, that's great. That's so good.
Yeah, guys, I don't want to keep going forever because I clearly don't know what I'm doing. I need to find a way to actually restart the tutorial and start from the very beginning. I hope I have a ship. I have no idea. Those ships weren't mine and I have no idea why they were there. But also I think this is a PTU, so everything you do then will be deleted. And apparently this will arrive probably soon because it's already in the game. You don't have to add anything. You just have to make it start. I think that it's a first implementation of VR. It's actually pretty good and pretty okay. That's what I wish we had also in Elite Dangerous when you get out of the ship, that you can look around. And it's crazy that Star Citizen is actually doing it before Elite Dangerous. That supports VR from the very beginning. Make it make sense. But yeah, anyway, guys, if you want to add me on Star Citizen, please do so. Teach me how to play this game because I really want to get into it. Probably it will be time consuming, but I hope it helped and I hope you didn't get too bored. And as always, if you liked the video, if you did like this, dislike, subscribe to the channel more about the Adet tech. Thanks for watching. Soon, by the way, I have to start covering this guy and so many things to talk about, but we're close to the end of the year. So.
All right. What is that? Brazil, Portuguese? I can't tell. Like the nationality, I think somewhere around there. I'm going to like that. His name is Tyreel Wood, VR Tech. All right. He'll probably gain quite a big audience, bringing in some Star Citizen fans on that. As I said, as we watch Space Tomato talk about this and the work that Silvan did, and now watching this guy play it, he was very excited about it. I think it's a no-brainer. I think they need to develop a team strictly working on VR if they haven't already. Have Silvan head this team. Give them a raise and just perfect this and work on this. Because if they don't have an option that gets rid of the UI jitter like that, they need one. And that's the first thing that I would work on and tell Silvan to work on. But I'm almost 95% sure that Silvan's got some type of setting that snaps at the UI, the chat, all of the things that we're bouncing around and we're disconcerting. I'm sure there's got to be an option for that. But man, that is so cool to see that. That's about the coolest thing ever, man. And a lot of people told me, oh, no, this isn't something they're going to pursue. This won't be done anytime soon. And we can see the work being done on it. So we know the people that were hating on me and telling me I didn't know what I was talking about were wrong once again. And I'm going to call them out because they're the first to call me out when they think I don't know what I'm talking about. That eventually ends up being true because I do know what I'm talking about and then never get the heat. They never get the heat back. I'm giving them the heat now. You punks were wrong. And I was right once again. I think that's like what? DG 102 versus haters. I'll maybe give them 1 point. Maybe they're right about one thing. I'll give them 1.